Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Ralph Grogan, the president of Taylor Adhesives. Ralph, how you doing?
Hi, Kemp. Good morning. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving.
I did. Same with you. I understand I've caught you in Dalton today.
I am. I spend at least a couple of weeks every month in Dalton. Excited about spending some time with the folks here at Taylor plant and the Polycom plants.
Well, let me catch our listeners up a little bit. I wanted to talk to you today. Now that this ownership has changed, Taylor for a while now has been owned by Meridian Adhesives, and now they're owned by Avery Dennison. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, a little bit on your background. As I mentioned today, you're president of Taylor Adhesives, and you've been doing that for 2 years. Prior to that, you were CEO with Parchair, and it was sold to AHF. Prior to that, you were a CEO at Bentley Mills. You did that for 5 years. And before that, you were with Invista. And then I met you a long time ago. You spent 9 years at Candace back in Dalton, right?
Absolutely. I think you have all the companies correct. Some great companies and some great people and some great mentors out there. Very excited to now be part of the Avery Dennison family.
A career focused in flooring. And also, this is pertinent here because you've spent some time working for companies owned by private equity. Dominus Capital Group plays in here both with Bentley and with Meridian. Even your acquisition with Parchair, going over to Paceline. So you've been with private companies, public companies, private equity-owned companies. This is a big news story with Taylor because it started 48 years ago as a family-owned company and then was owned by Dominus. Meridian got involved there. Now over to Avery Dennison, which is a publicly traded company. And when you start looking at your three options of ownership, family, public, or private equity, kind of changes the long-range view a bit, doesn't it?
It does. Taylor, the last 10 years has had some fantastic growth with the company, but in the last 10 years, they've been owned by 3 different private equity owners. And when you're owned by private equity, definitely some advantages, but you're also sort of always looking over your shoulder because the end game is to sell the business. And like I said, 3 owners in 10 years is a lot of change in ownerships. And one of the things that the Taylor team is excited about is with Avery Dennison, publicly traded company, we feel like we found our forever home, so to speak. They're actually having an immediate impact on our business that we're really, really excited about.
How does the Taylor flooring adhesive business fit into the Avery Dennison strategic plan?
Great question, Kemp. And a lot of folks in the flooring business may not be familiar with Avery Dennison, but they're a worldwide leader in material sciences. They're heavily in the adhesive business. They do a lot of acrylic adhesives, a lot of water-based adhesives, have a very impressive list of customers that they do business with. What they found attractive with the Taylor acquisition is this is going to serve as a platform for Avery Dennison to get into the building product space. It allows them to get involved in other areas that they might have not been involved in. Avery Dennison looks at this as a high-value building products area, and with some of our expertise, it should allow them to rapidly get into that space and how Taylor can be involved with that.
We should mention that Avery Dennison is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Their symbol is AVY, and they're an $8.7 billion company. I mean, they're bigger than Shaw Industries, and you're, I guess, part of their diversity plan, aren't you?
Absolutely. They're really excited about getting into the building products platform, which is a segment they have not been heavily involved in. So it's a completely new segment for them. They're having an immediate impact on our business that we're really, really excited about.
How is business now?
As you know, Kemp, it's been a difficult couple of years in the flooring industry. You and I were both up at the NEFCD show a couple of weeks ago in Chicago, and unfortunately, the economists that we were talking to said that 2026 is maybe not going to be a lot different from 2025. Business remains tough. We have 2 items that have really helped us. One is that we're heavily involved in the resilient market with adhesives, and resilient is held up a little better than soft surface. So our resilient business remains good. And we have our Polycom business, which has some unique PVB technologies and some other things they bring to the table. And Polycom's actually having a record year. So, parts of our business are doing really, really well. So we're hunkering down like everyone else. We do see 2026 as probably more of the same as we had in 2025.
How do you think business will be different under the ownership of Avery versus the Meridian ownership?
The immediate impact is fantastic. On day one, we added some sales resources in our distribution arm of the business. So we've already added some personnel. Under private equity, sometimes that is hard to do. We're also excited about Avery Dennison has a performance tapes division, and they actually sell to some of our existing customers. So the ability to cross-sell performance tapes with our adhesives, we're already going to get some 1 + 1 = 3 or 4. And you'll see at Services this year, we're going to cross-sell some of the technologies that the performance tape division brings in flooring with some of our adhesive solutions. We want to become a total solutions company to our customers.
Most people know to grow in a soft market, you really have to focus on maybe taking share. What sets Taylor apart from your competition in the flooring business?
Kemp, we've always going back to the original days of W.F. Taylor, the technology that we bring, and we try to find customer solutions and innovation with products. And with Avery Dennison, with Taylor, it's going to allow us to be even more innovative and provide technical solutions to our customers with problems we can help them solve. I mean, if you look at Services this year, we have a couple of products that we're excited to introduce that do just that. We're trying to design products to fit their needs, and that helps us grow even in a tough market. Those are the kind of things with Avery Dennison, the innovation they bring with material science should help us go to market even quicker with some of these solutions we try to find for our customers.
Ralph, I need to tell our listeners that I know you personally, and I see a new spring in your step. So I think this acquisition and this technology type of background with Avery is going to be good for your business, isn't it?
Can't tell you when it was when I was this excited. The immediate impact that Avery has brought, the culture that they bring to our company is fantastic. So it's not just me, it's everyone in our sales organization, everyone in the plant. We're very, very excited going into 2026, even with the challenges the market conditions are going to bring.
All right, Ralph, it's good to catch up with you. Thanks for giving us an update on what's going on with Taylor Adhesives. Again, been talking to Ralph Grogan, the president, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.